The history we know is one of incomplete conquest. Spain held the Philippines for 333 years, from 1565 to 1898. But the cross and sword of the empire never truly united the archipelago. Their rule was defined by what they couldn't conquer: the stubborn resistance of the Cordillera tribes in the north and the fierce Islamic Sultanates of Mindanao in the south. Spain intentionally withheld its language from the general population, a strategic tool of control. But what if that strategy failed? Today, we explore a reality that never was. What if Spain had completely colonized the Philippines? Act 1. The Linguistic Shift. The most immediate auditory change would define the nation. In this alternate timeline, Spanish is not just an elite language. It is the fundamental mother tongue of the populace. Visualize a reality where you are speaking Spanish right now, not English or Tagalog. Just as the indigenous languages of Mexico and Colombia were marginalized or erased, the regional dialects that define Philippine culture today, Ilocano, Bisaya, Waray, would be relics, preserved only in deep rural enclaves. The Philippines, an island nation on the edge of Asia, would be the undisputed Hispanophone heavyweight of the continent. Act 2. The End of Pluralism. Total colonization means total military control. This hypothetical requires the complete eradication of religious pluralism. We must visualize the Spanish crown, not settling for tenuous peace treaties, but finally achieving the pacification they always sought. The generations-long conflict in Mindanao would not exist in its current form. In this timeline, the powerful sultanates of Maguindanao and Sulu are completely dismantled. The indigenous beliefs and the light of Islam are systematically extinguished, replaced by a homogeneous, mandated Roman Catholicism that stretches without resistance from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi. Act 3. The depths of the caste system. Total assimilation means a massive influx of settlers from Spain and Mexico, creating widespread mestizaje or intermarriage. Yet, this fusion would entrench the brutal, pigment-based caste system known in Latin America as the Sistema de Castas. While colorism subtly affects the Philippines today, in this scenario, it would be explicit and structural. We must visualize a modern society where political power, economic wealth, and social standing are explicitly tied to the exact percentage of Spanish blood one possesses. The deep divide between the fair-skinned ruling class and the dark-skinned indigenous or mestizo labor force would be the definitive feature of society. ACT 4. The cultural alignment. Geopolitically and culturally, the Philippines would not look toward Southeast Asia or ASEAN. It would operate as an extension of the Americas. The historical connection through the Manila galleon trade would never diminish. It would simply evolve. We must visualize a country where the modern media landscape, the literary canon, and even international policy are tightly bound to Madrid, Mexico City, and Bogota. The country's identity, its food, its architecture, its entire feeling, would be an Asian mirror of the Latin world. ACT 5. The U.S. factor. Finally, total Spanish control fundamentally alters the 1898 pivot point. If Spain had an absolute grip on the entire population, the Spanish-American War would not result in an American occupation. The Spanish Navy might have defended the archipelago more successfully, or even if Spain lost, the United States would have faced a cohesive Spanish-speaking population, unified in their identity and resistance. In this timeline, the era of Americanization, the entire English-language educational system, and the powerful historical influence of the U.S. would never have happened. Conclusion: the foundational shift. The hypothetical, complete colonization of the Philippines isn't just a minor historical tweak. It is a foundational rewrite of an entire nation's identity. It creates a Philippines where religion is absolute, demographics are defined by caste, and where the closest cultural neighbor is 12,000 miles away. We often focus on what was lost during colonization. Perhaps this reality shows us that the very resistance that kept colonization incomplete is what allowed the true diversity of the Philippine identity to survive.